Mini Metro is a logistics-based puzzle game developed by New Zealand-based studio Dinosaur Polo Club and released in 2015. The goal of the game is to design an underground rail map through various stations using the limited space on your train cars efficiently in order to avoid overcrowding. As time progresses, more stations open up and passengers come in more quickly, forcing you to expand your rail network to include more lines and bigger trains. One of the things that I personally find most interesting about Mini Metro is the way that it handles sound. The music you've been hearing in the background of this video is actually unedited audio of me playing on the Barcelona stage. Most major game events in Mini Metro are accompanied by a sound. Trains drive a quiet synthesizer, whirring slowly towards their destination. Passengers arriving at the station make percussive pops and tits, filling the slow and droning soundscape with dots of life. As time passes, you begin to hear more layers being added to the background that are unrelated to the events happening on screen. If you're like me, you might notice that the rhythm from these non-diegetic drum beats synchronizes with the train cars dropping off passengers. You might also notice the way that new passengers and stations always appear exactly on beat. Then you might begin to realize why I started writing this script. Mini Metro blends mechanics and music in a really interesting way, and one that I haven't seen so clearly in most other games. It's the little things, like how adding a square station to a line adds a square wave to its synthesizer, how the arrival of a new station is punctuated with that same square wave, or how you can tell where each new passenger wants to go by the sound that they make when they arrive. As new stations appear, new sounds come with their new passengers, adding to the percussion. As you make new lines, the synthesizers add to the hum of the rest, and their stops and starts create a shifting harmony that evolves as the needs of your railway expand. Over time, what was once a simple train line has become a sprawling network of locomotives and carriages, and what was once a couple percussion hits and some light synthesizer has become a steady rhythm of harmonies. The interactivity of games is one of the biggest strengths of them as a medium. The death of a beloved party member in a role-playing game hits harder because not only were they a lovable character, they were also an important source of healing. This creates a problem for musicians, though. If you're scoring a movie, you know exactly what's about to happen, and can plan your score to accentuate the emotional beats that are laid out in the script. With a game, though, you have to account for the inherent unpredictability of the guy holding the controller. The majority of games get around this by incorporating vertical mixing, a technique that adds or subtracts layers from the music based on the situation. But games like Mini Metro have the opportunity to create music entirely on the fly, based on arbitrary events driven by the player. If the music didn't sync up with gameplay like this, and it was just a fixed track with a similar vibe per stage, the game wouldn't be any worse, but I don't think it would be nearly as engaging. As you fill out your rail map, you also fill out the music, and it makes the game unique not only in layout, but in soundscape. It makes your game feel personal, and the way the layers build on one another adds to the inherent satisfaction of creating an efficient layout. I'm only good enough to get just above 900 passengers delivered on a good run, but I cannot wait to hear a game where I can get several times that. As someone who's into both gaming and music, procedural music is a really exciting concept. Separating the songwriting process from a strict relationship to time can potentially open up a lot of interesting compositional techniques. If you know of any games with procedural soundtracks like this one, please point them out in the comments below. If I find enough things to talk about, I might end up making a larger video on the topic of procedural music in general. While you're down there, make sure to do all the things YouTube likes. Like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and come back around sometime. I'll be here when you do.